And hello, you archaeologists. I'm the Johnstruct. Still. I never stopped being the Johnstruct. I'm having an Eiyuden Chronicle Rising adventure. I'm going to press the any button, and I'm going to load my game. So, a while back on my quest to complete all the Final Fantasies, I don't have the button for that because I've got to be in Final Fantasy, I decided I'd play other classic JRPGs, and one of them was Suikoden, a game from 1997, which I very much enjoyed. And Eiyuden Chronicle was a game that they kickstarted, which is like a spiritual successor. But this is like a pre-game in that, like they made a second game to go with that game. I don't know. Okay, it's this one because it says 7 on it. Yeah. That's not an RPG. It's like a side-scrolling dungeon thing, and I'm going to be playing this only for an hour, because that's how much I want to play for it for. Because it's a pretty light game. It's fair enough. They just wanted to introduce the universe, I guess. And I don't know why they did this, but yeah, it's a nice looking game. They just made a little. Because, yeah, it's definitely set in the same universe. So you collect quests, you're building up a town, and you do a bit of dungeoneering. But yeah, I can't remember what I'm doing. Because the other thing was, because it's kind of low pressure, when I ran out of Xbox, because I'm playing on Xbox Live, I was just like, that's fine. This game, I'm enjoying it, but not enough that I would pay money for Xbox Live to play it. But I've got 3 months of that now, because I'm playing Pirates game, Sea of Thieves, and there's no reason not to finish it. Okay, I'm gonna walk off this screen. What are we doing? The screen says find Malore in the quarry. Okay. Some angry, but you know what? I'm just going to teleport. I've sort of forgotten how to play this game. So let's just go to the quarry and we'll figure out. Yeah, I do like the 2.5D-ness. There's so much writing though. CJ, I heard from Gokto that you're looking for the Malaria girl. That's right. Well, I agree to keep an eye out while I'm treasure hunting, sure. You'll be treasure hunting somewhere pretty dangerous then. She's on the other side of the blockade, a fair bit down. There's a bit of a trick to open it up though. There should be a lever around the blockade somewhere. Make sure to give it a good push. Good push, huh? Got it. Okay. See you when I get back in. We got ourselves a Roo, called Garu. Okay, what if I remember this? We have hit, we have a swap, so we can jump, we can dodge. Like that. He's large. His great sword is great enough to send projectiles flying back when they came from. Rocks and other projectiles. Okay. Then we find a rock to do that too. Okay, they're dead now. Oh no. Calls for quick moves. Yeah, and I made myself a non-caffeine related drink. We'll level up, lovely. And put it in this. Oh, that's cool. So I'm gonna read that to myself and not out loud. Okay. Yeah. I'll be. Healing potion! Can we go through this? We cannot go through that. The demon with the door will have to wait. Oh, I never asked you about your job. How was it? Because you started now. I meant to do that like immediately afterwards, or maybe I did and forgot. One of the two. About how you're finding it. Yeah, that looks a little sturdier. I've also made myself a vanilla nutmeg tea. It's non-caffeinated. Or uncut, whatever the word is. Oh, we can go through that rock now, though. Oh, there's a big guy. Shattering shields. Ah! Oh, crap. I dealt with him. How did she get trapped behind a bunch of stuff I had to break through? Oh, because there's more than one route through. Wait, there was a cave in. I can't seem to jump up there, so I'll leave you be and I'll read this comment. The only bad thing about this comment system that's underneath my face is obviously it cuts everything out. But I will read that to myself again. Should be able to get up here. Can I go through this door? I cannot. Come up here. Oh. Both quite hurt as well. Right, now we're done. I'm calling parts and kits in the boxes. I'm managing this in a minute too. Yes. Well, I didn't really consider anything other than because I used to have no writing when it was full games. And I was like, no, I still want people's writing on the screen, because people like seeing their writing on the screen. And also I talk to people, and, you know, I want any future users to be able to follow conversations. But I also wanted it to not affect the screen. But yes. It's cool that the job's going well. We do have frequent conversations in the office about the heating, but it's not particularly. It doesn't have to get particularly hot in the UK. But I don't want to dismiss people's heating complaints just because I don't tend to notice it. Although it has been really hot recently. Oh, chest. Oh, there's a pendant. Curious as to where this takes me. Oh, I've probably been here already. Or is this the route I couldn't go up before? Oh, yeah, I forget heat. I forget cars require heating management. I had a conversation with my boss once because I didn't know what a hatchback was, and he was just like, "What are you gonna do if he's Australian? What you gonna do if you ever get like hit by a car and you got to tell the police?" I can't do his accent, which makes it funny because he's my boss. And I was like, I don't know. I was just saying it was like a big. Oh, the monster's sleeping. How did you block it? That's amazing that you blocked that while you were sleeping. Why no, John? Why open the door? I know very little about cars. I mean, I understand what wheels are. There she is, that's her. She looks very surprised from her picture. You will terrorize this town no longer. My aim is straight and true, magical, lyrical missile. Again? What's this girl's problem? Also, presumably gonna give this Rue an Australian accent, but which I can't do. The only thing I know how to do is whenever somebody in an Australian soap opera finds somebody down a well, they don't say "oh no," they go "oi noi," like that. Stay back, scoundrels! You've come face to face with new Nieve's very own guardian peacekeeper. Guided by the rune's holy light, it is I once again, Malore, ardent defender of love and justice. Don't know what who you think you're talking to, but we're just a couple of adventurers. You won't lie your way out of this one. The visage, it's very late for me. That vicious visage, the smell of bloodlust. Bandits, both of you. I know a bandit when I see one, or smell one. Yes. You, hoi noi, you gonna let her talk? I swear I used to be able to do a better accent than that. I'd have to watch some Jason Donovan or something. He can only close one eye to see for certain. You gonna let her talk? She's clearly talking out to you. Mallory, please hear us out. I'm a scavenger. I wouldn't dream of thieving from anyone who's alive and kicking. Prove it. Excuse me? For your ordinary adventures, then prove it. What kind of proof would you like exactly? Wait, I know. Here, this stamp card. A stamp card? Ugh, you're gonna get us killed. Oi noi. Here, an explorer's license signed and sealed by the acting mayor. Oh my, this stamp card is a genuine article. You are adventurers after all. I'm so very sorry. Phew. Trying to think of other Australian famous ones like Kylie Minogue. No, I can't do it. I should, but I can do it in my brain. I'm usually better. I'm not usually wrong. I'd have to practice, and I definitely shouldn't do that on the stream. I was sure those lens bandits would show up today. Lens bandits? Yes, you've seen them right on the outskirts of town. Lots of lenses and barrows. Bandits are obsessed with them. Plenty of ore and artifacts down here, but they only have eyes for the lenses. What made you so sure they'd be coming today? A few days ago, a huge raw lens was discovered alongside an equally huge Lode Golem. Really? This had better not be a joke, little girl. I'm not even trying anymore, am I? I wouldn't joke about something like that. That's why I thought they'd be here. I know it. Better go get it right now. Wait, we were told to take this kid back to town. For all we know, she might have smashed that lens up when she attacked us yesterday. Ah, right. Yes, I think it happens. You just, like, people's voices meld into one another. And phrases. Well, Lore, we're not here for lenses. We're here to bring you back down to town. Gokto's orders. That's right, everyone's worried about you. So come along, okay? No. No. He's mad at me for breaking the bulwark, isn't he? Well, now she cares about the bulwark. No one's mad. The hole's fixed up already, so everything's fine. Come on. No! Real magical girl wouldn't run away after making a mess. Real magical girl would make it right. I did attempt a southern accent for Weird West. Nah, that's not right. But you don't sound like no magical girl I know. Ah, fair enough. If I attempt one, it'll be very stereotypical. Not at all. You gone mad? Shut it. And look, even a magical girl is gonna make mistakes. But mistakes aren't all bad, as long as you learn from them. You mess up, take a step back, cool off, and think about all you could have done better. Talk it over with your mates or your folks. That's how you grow in it. Nah, that's the right way to be a magical girl, am I wrong? No, I was wrong. I think it's just too late for me to attempt anything like that. Well now, how about we get you home? Okay. How did you do that? There's all the stuff I found. Yes. Yeah, I can only get accents from television. So you're the CJ I've been hearing about. I'm Rambir, I'm in charge of defense around here. In charge, like a commander or something. I didn't know they had titles like that here. Titles? Ha! Who cares about nonsense like that? Huh? It's a matter of the heart, child. I've had taken upon myself to defend this town because my heart tells me I must. So you just put yourself in charge then? You'll find no one better for the job, I promise you that. Regardless, I have all orders for you. Orders? For me? We're rapidly running out of weapons. Somebody must remedy that immediately. You know, if you're offering a stamp, there's no need for the Admiral Act. Stamps again. These stamps have gone to your brains, all of you. Fine, if that's what it takes, now get to work. Sir. So you can see the middle of the screen there, that's my stamps. I think I got everything you asked for. Apparently it was just iron ore. Impressive, you did better than I expected. I'm better than expected. Buddy, I didn't even walk away and somehow I had all the stuff you wanted. There could be makings of a soldier in you yet. Make with a stamp or I'll be soldiering out there, okay? Yeah, it's, they were, there was a massive... John, words. How do words work? The mayor is getting like adventurers to do work for stamps because it's a growing town. We're calling on you again, Private. There's the stamp. Bunch of experience. Really? Yeah, I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't know how tired I am yet. I'll know when I start recording. But I won't play like Final Fantasy because that'll be 2 hours. I'll play like this game because I've needed to do something for a while and it's only an hour long. And then as soon as I start, I'm like, oh yeah, it's the game that requires me to read a lot. Are you okay? You look kind of sad. I found some odd-looking glasses on the street earlier, so I put them on and looked under a rock. There are a whole lot of bugs. They look huge. They're all shiny and slimy. Blech. Glasses shiny? Don't suppose you'd let me take them off your hands, would you? Gladly, you can have them. Doesn't sound like a child I know. Thanks. I'm genuinely surprised I didn't have to give that kid like a rock or something. Right. Whose glasses were lost? I don't know where Squash is. Or Cocktail, for that matter. Yes. Although I assume that he's long-sighted and they magnified the bugs. Making them bugs with like free use. Sorry, on One Piece recently I watched they go to a place called Long Ring Island, and all the animals have the same names as normal animals, but you say the vowels for longer because they're all long animals. So there's a horse, and it's got like it's got a neck the size of a giraffe, and there's a dog, and it's just a very, very long sausage dog, but like comedically long. Yeah, One Piece gets very silly. Yeah, they meet a guy on stilts, but you can't see where he is because the stilts were so high, like you just couldn't see a person, and they accidentally kicked him over, and it turned out he'd been on the stilts for a decade because he was too scared to get down, and he somehow survived on the pair of stilts for 10 years, and everyone had moved on because One Piece also has to be sad at the same time. Yeah, One Piece is definitely really bad for that. Like, the person who draws One Piece is really good at like all these amazing different like designs. Like there's like absurd different body types all over the place, apart from when he draws women, and he has one woman and every woman in the series has exactly the same look to them. I mean, in terms of like figure anyway, but like, and it's a real shame. But it's like everything else about One Piece is really good, but like that does get obnoxious, and it only gets worse. At the start of the series, it's quite tame, but yeah, at a certain point, because One Piece is popular enough that it had a stage show, and the guy writing it got married to one of the characters in the stage show, and so that character gets a lot more, like, gets a bunch of fan service because it's his wife. But not just that character, but like a lot more than everyone else. I have no idea where any of these people are. I guess the appraisal place. But yeah. It's Cocteau. Cocteau, someone's here to see you. Well. Sorry to drop you both. He's just down. Yeah. There's a character called Nico Robin, and I want. People do all sorts of stuff, cool stuff with the redeeming points as well. I just haven't got around to it. I watch a gaming person, like a programming person, and he's made it so whenever you type, a little person appears on the screen, and they flash and they show the name, and you can change the color of what they look like. Which I know you can buy stuff like that as well, but like he made it himself using the program I use. But he's a actual programmer who knows how to programming. Well, Malare, anything you'd like to say? I'm sorry. Like I know one stream I watch. I think he's promised to watch any anime, and he doesn't watch anime, so it's like he's got loads of anime fans forcing him to watch animes, but like they have to raise like 50 million points, and they buy I think they buy a marble for a future marble game, and each marble represents the anime he's going to be forced to watch. But like to start the race, you have to donate like 100 million. I know it's $1 million per marble, And so you can either save up for a marble or save up to start the race. But like people gamble, and so people have been managing to get the marbles because they always gamble on the outcomes. But he's got like a couple of thousand people consistently watching him. So like you can have a sort of an economy running like that, and that's the sort of shame, because I've got a friend who immediately was like, you should do polls. And it's like, I do polls, but like I can't do a poll to one person. That's just me asking one person their opinion on something. It's not really a poll at that point. Okay, I'll take a step back and cool off and talk to my mates and folks about what I did wrong. But he's like, he'll get the punters in. He doesn't really understand what Twitch is. You're just not trying hard enough. It's like, I was just like trying to explain to him that 7% of the people have 99% of all the viewers on Twitch. And if you have like more than 50 viewers, you're in like the top 10% or something like that, top 14%. Like the Twitch is very much a culture of haves and have-nots. Listen to this. What's got you so modest all of a sudden? Anyway, but the point I was making is there's some really fun things you can do with points, but like it's really it kind of, it's difficult to do them with just like the stray people that come along, you know, because some people, the regulars, earn loads, and at that point you're just giving the regular stuff. But yeah, I would also really like to do things. I know my brother had a bag of sweets that had like gimmick flavors, and people would pay money to make him eat one of the sweets, and sometimes they'd be like egg. But the problem is, I don't want to do that. It doesn't sound like a grand time, but I appreciate that that is the sort of thing people like to watch. He only did that once, though. I mean, I say once, through the bag. You sure you got the right girl? Pretty sure. Well, I'm not complaining. You're going to stay out of trouble from now on, right? Right. And our friends here deserve an extra apology to help clean up your mess in the bulwark yesterday. So the gimmick of Suikoden, the game I said at the start of the stream, so it was an RPG, but it was inspired by like, it's a Chinese story about 108 heroes, I think it is. And so instead of like having 7 characters like Final Fantasy, it had 108 people you had to recruit. And about 30 of them, 30, 40 people, you're naturally going to accumulate. But everyone else you had to pick up along the way. So you could have them all in your party, but also they all did jobs in a castle. And it was just a really cool gimmick idea, which nowadays isn't a million miles away from how a lot of games operate. But in 1997, nothing did anything like this. Just building up your castle, like the sort of weird hybrid, because it had wars in it as well. So some of them were generals, and you'd pick like a party for different rounds, and you could only use them so many times. And so if you found 3 spies, then your spying would be great because you'd have a full team of spies. But yeah, it was, you know, I guess because before Pokemon. Hang on, 1997. Don't think that was that. That's not before Pokemon, was it? I don't know when Pokemon came out. You did? No trouble at all. We best be getting back though. That's right, lots to do. Like there was obviously some people that were just meant to be in combat with you. They were good fighters, and some people was just like, I put flowers in the garden. My job is to put flowers in the garden. And you're like, fair enough. That's your job. But like their actual jobs sort of were to these little teams as well. But yeah, but that's why so many people are in this game, that it's gonna make sure like a bunch of these people will be in the actual RPG when it comes out. We won't hold you up a moment longer. Besides, we've got to apologise to the acting mayor too, isn't that right, Mallory? Right. And we're off. Ah. Pokemon was before then. I think Suikoden was 1997. Because everything came out in 1997. This is a really big year for gaming. Alright, let's get back in there and find the Lode Golem. I'll go and have a stamp. Yay! I won? No, I've got to do that. That's my quest. Yes, I bet. That confuses and scares me. I'm gonna walk away. Gosh, I've got your glasses. These are the spectacles. The very ones. Simply impossible to discern dispersion in tiny gemstones without the spectacles such as these. Another parakeet. With this, the preparations for my grand opening are complete. Allow me to stamp your card for you. Whatever the... You know the phrase pet peeve? Not a pun, I appreciate a parakeet is a pet. Whatever the opposite of that is. I love it when people put animals in games as people, but they still have pet names. So obviously I was a huge fan of, what's it called? Netflix series. In the 90s, he was a very famous horse. BoJack Horseman, yes. I love that the characters legitimately had pet names rather than people names. You know, that golden retriever is my favourite character in that series. Was it Peanut Butter? Haven't received. I haven't finished that series actually. I've got half a season yet left. But like, I know it's going to get very dramatic and they get harder to watch the more dramatic they are. It's always fun to explain to people because I know a lot of people bounce off that first episode, and the thing I try to explain to them is, oh, it's not a comedy show, it's a drama show that's masquerading as a comedy. And it's a very good drama show. But yeah, I get it. I get why some people would bounce off things like that. And I think it takes a few episodes to find itself. Enhance your abilities with a variety of beautiful accessories ready to be equipped. Oh, I better do that then. I also appreciate with BoJack Horseman is there's legitimately an episode dedicated to the concept that just because you can relate to a character doesn't mean that, like, you should forgive that character of everything bad they've ever done. And like, unlike a lot of shows, it's like gone out of its way to go, look, like, to not be subtle about that point. Because, you know, a lot of shows like to have their cake and eat it. And it's like, having somebody just say that out loud. Because, yeah, BoJack Horseman is a piece of shit, basically. But in a way that's very, very familiar and relatable. Like, but he does some awful things, and he definitely does not deserve to be forgiven. But because he happens to be the main character and is charismatic, people will. But like, it's a jab. That line also sort of seems like a bit of a jab against. At the time, I was thinking of saying Breaking Bad, but not Breaking Bad. I mean that as well. But what's it called? Rick and Morty, because Morty is Rick. Even Rick is a terrible person, and you like nobody should leave that show wanting to be like Rick. Although Rick isn't relatable in the slightest, but like you know what I mean. People emulate Rick, and it's like definitely don't. But yeah, very much felt like a jab at that. Like, but But also has animals puns. One of my favourite jokes in the series is two people having a very serious conversation, and one of them just saying, "Look, we've got to talk about the elephant in the room," and then the camera panning up to an elephant, going, "Oh, God, oh!" Oh, oh, and just leaving the room in a huff. And just the clerk. Oh no! Oh. He was a builder that just happened to be in the room at the time. What am I doing? Let's go to the Lode Golem. I don't know where that would be. In the quarry. Well, we'll go in the quarry then. Also, Lisa Kudrow's in it, and haven't seen her since Friends. She's very good in it. It would be a lot. I'm trying to remember how to teleport. No, I need to not be standing there. The quarry. It gets away with some cool stuff just because it lives in a sort of floaty place. So his next door neighbour. So the thing about BoJack Horseman is he's frequently the smartest, like in a cynical way, the smartest person in the room. Which is why it's a shame he can do terrible things, I guess, because he should be better than that. But because he's greedy and selfish in ways that are entirely human, he will still make all the mistakes that he can see coming. But he's got a next door neighbour that's a Labrador called Mr. Peanut Butter, who's just the nicest person, and he really hates how nice and likable this guy is. And Mr. Peanut Butter thinks they're both best friends because he's a Labrador. And it all works like that. But like, there's more to Mr. Peanut Butter as well because he's one of the 4 main characters of the show. But like, especially in the first season, they bounce off each other just because one of them's just. Like, whatever you bring to him, he's like, that's a fantastic idea, I love that idea, it's the best idea, let's go do that. And so he just ends up doing crazy things. But like, and then like stories start happening where he's a person, and the fact that it lives in this sort of weird world where it's comedy but drama, it sneaks up certain things to you. Third time's a charm, as they say. We're coming for you, Lord Golem. Your raw lens is as good as mine. Love the confidence, big fan. But have you actually fought a Lode Golem before? Nope. Nope, she says. And this raw lens is basically a bunch of magical powers smushed together, yep, yes. And the fiends with lenses are generally a lot tougher than fiends without them, yes. Seems likely, that's what my dad said anyway. Probably going to be quite tasty in a fight. I cannot overstate how terrible a person BoJack Horseman is, though. Your dad's saying something about how to take it down. Your dad didn't say anything about how to take it down by any chance. Nope. Yeah, I think about once a season he will cross a line, and the reaction is to go, no, don't do this, no. And it is a horrible shame, but also, no, he's crossed too many lines for him. It can't be. Yeah, it definitely deserves a warning because it's dark. It gets dark. How exactly did he get his hands on raw lens? Anyway, what did he do? His best. So that's what I'm going to do. I knew I should have come alone. Even the best scavengers to start somewhere. I might not know exactly what to do, but I do know we'll have to hit it hard. I guess that's the best plan we've got. Don't expect me to stick around if things get hairy, though. I don't fancy dying in a place like this. they've got experimental episodes as well. I think there's one episode that's entirely without dialogue. I was about to say silent. That's not true. But there's an episode without dialogue. There's one episode which is just a monologue by BoJack Horseman. And I enjoy the gimmick episodes. What's up with you? I'm just going to continue that way. I think I was supposed to be able to... Nope, I think there's a way of bouncing those rocks back, but I don't know how. Level up. Oh, let's grab that. Hop, hop, hop. Why are there so many people here? I'm going to save my game. Ah, the numbers of the chapter. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It does remind me of something. I'm probably not going to remember it tonight because my brain isn't working anymore. But it does remind me of something. Ah, it's obviously over here. Oh! No, I know what it reminds me of. It reminds me of some of Danganronpa's music. Oh, damn it, that bar is not his health is fine. Not this bit, just that one song. This bit. Yeah, for some reason I thought their experience bar was health. Oh crap. I like the shadows. Well, I guess that will replace the potion I accidentally used. The other thing that the pixeler does is it angles the pixels. So the pixel resolution is fake because they can move through 3D space and retain the original shape. Lots of things do that, but it's always weird when someone does it. Like, so something like Undertale only does that, like, Undertale pretends to have a low resolution until it reveals during boss fights that it can smoothly move things. But like that's a stylized game, but this is, I think this gets away with it because it's stylized as well, but it's always weird to see pixels at an angle, like the axe you can see like was drawn facing upwards but is currently being held like that, and instead of there being like in a pixel game you'd redraw the axe right at a different angle, but like she's clearly articulated at the knees and stuff like that. Nothing ominous about this place. Sit down, take a load off. Oh, damn it. You know that thing where I'm supposed to... Oh, I can just hit him back. I wonder where his weak point is. Oh, hello, Minicoop. Go. Lode Golem has been defeated. I got myself a raw lens. Yes! Raw lens, we did it, we got it. Let me see it. Ta-da! It's bloody huge! Well, it's big, sure, but yeah, not as big as the one my dad found. I'm still not good enough. Whoa! Whoa, what are you playing at? You could have cracked it. Nah, raw lenses don't crack so easily. Takes special technology to turn into a rune lens. Any use though. Only a guardian can do it, right? Right? Guardians, ancient protectors of the ruins, guardians. As if I'd know. Never met one. Your family all scavengers, ain't they? You pop, pop. None of them ever mentioned guardians. Well, I did ask my dad and grandpa once, first time I'd ever heard of guardians. And what they say? They didn't say, they said they didn't know anything, and that I shouldn't bring it up again. It's definitely not a deep, dark family secret. You didn't believe them, did you? I did. If they didn't know anything about it, why'd they tell you to keep your mouth shut? Rule number one of being an adult. Always ask questions. You calling them liars? My family? I'll have you know. Okay, I'm not calling anyone a liar. Forget it. You're honest, alright? Honestly naive. What was that? Nothing. Oh, anyway, even if you could turn it into a rune lens, probably couldn't use it. The lens has to choose you. And no lens would ever choose as someone as grumpy as you. Lens gets to choose. Wasaba! What do you mean? Don't you know anything about lenses? Do you know anything? I know people can't be trusted. The only thing I trust in this world are the sword in my hand and the curse in my coin. I beg your pardon, John. And the coin in my purse. What a boring life that must be. Don't make me laugh, kid. Is excitement gonna fill your belly at the end of the day? Damn it, I almost had it. Rune lenses choose their owner, believe it, me or don't. Either way, unless you've chosen, you'll never be able to use it. It's like they're alive. Gross. Some say they are, yeah. No one knows for sure, though. Besides, if you can't use it, there's no reason to hang on to it, is there? Might as well sell it. Could get a small fortune, depending on the grade. From its size, I reckon this one could fetch a pretty penny. Seems like it could be made magical, too, if somebody knew how. Could be looking at about 200,000 baka? 200,000 baka? Oh yeah, that's one thing you got to do. You got to make everything sound like a question. That's not bad. Oi! What? This thing is rare, potentially powerful, and it's worth a lot of money. I get that, but if somebody cared more about them than they did about the money, why would that be? What's brought this on? Listen. What would somebody with all the money in the world want with these things? Beats me. More money. As simple as it. Or maybe they like shiny things. Like a bird or something. More fool me for asking a child, I suppose. You mean like the budgie that we left in the town? What would I know what rich folk think? Ask them yourself. They probably just want magic power, no? Magic power, huh? Well, the real work starts now. The barrows await. Let's go. This thing's too small for my pouch. Best pile more in. Enough to drink a tavern dry sounds about right. Right. Oh, I've got to search the rune barrows. Oh, quick, a chest. Defense vane, let's equip it. Ooh. This place comes with guitar music. Yes! I'm just about to go to sleep, Minicoop. I was just waiting for a save point. But yeah, but it's also Friday night. So these are the barrows. They're even cooler than I thought. Didn't expect them to go so deep. Wild to think this exists under that crummy little town. Getting better, I'm getting the accent. I smell trouble. Damn. Keep your eyes peeled. Every time I get it, I lose it again. My nose is never wrong. Something bad's up ahead. Evil sorcerer's curse. Ooh. The what? An evil sorcerer punished by the gods and sealed in the ruins. Go, average. I bet it's him. I was playing Cuphead yesterday, and one of the bosses took me 3 bloody hours, did. And it's like, I just never improved over. When I finally beat it, I was just like, oh yeah, that was just a very simple technique. The problem with Cuphead is sometimes, if you just don't understand a thing you need to do, it's really frustrating. Yeah, I just don't. I'm just never tired. My eyes hurt though, I do need to sleep. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. You can't practice like on the last bit of a boss in Cuphead. And so this is like an annoying 20-minute section every time you need to practice the last 3 minutes. I know that's bosses for all computer games, but still. Yeah, but I didn't have an energy drink for this particular stream. This is just blackcurrant. And this is caffeineless tea. But I did have an energy drink before that. The bandits. Company, eh? You got a problem, mate. You guys smell worse than me. Gary, these are the bandits, the ones who attacked Hogan. Bandits? These lens-obsessed weirdos that other girl weirdo told us about. That's for taking care of that load, Golem. Golem, little lady. Now hand over the lens. We won't have any trouble. Trouble? Ha, for you maybe. Did you forget what happened last time we met? Ah, we'll see what happens this time, eh? Lads, all in. Oh, I mean, I do have to wash it occasionally, though. I mean, that's true for all mugs, but I mean, more often, because it turns out energy drink smells awful, and I'm gonna need to, like, it needs a stronger wash, and I'm not really sure how to deal with that. What's a bumpkin like you doing with a beast anyway? Fall back, lads. We'll just come back and take a lens from their dead bodies. Oh yeah, and Tesco stole my idea, because what I've done is I put this came with a metal straw. Now this is I took the energy drink out of this. This just has blackcurrant juice and soda stream water. Hold it, you stole those lenses, didn't you? Drop them. Eat this. DJ, get down. Oh, what was that? My ears are still ringing. Runic round. I've seen them once before. Sorcerers who can make them a few and far between, though. Oh, sorry. Yes. Because I put the rubber straw on top of the metal thing because I'm always terrified that it's gonna go into my eye. But you know, they sell mugs with a metal straw with a rubber top, which is my idea. I did that. Bloody Tesco's. No, definitely nobody thought of that idea before I did. Because the rubber ones by themselves are less than ideal. How did bandits get their dirty hands on something like that? Good question. Moreover, how did they get in? I very much doubt they got the necessary paperwork. Must have bribed a lookout or something. It's just time. Plenty of adventures around though. They'd get spotted in no time. Unless... Nah, don't like it's too sus. Let's head back now. Talk to the acting mayor about it. It's just a couple of bandits. You worry too much. I'm not worried about myself. We have to tell the other adventurers and their escorts to be on their toes. Easier said than done. Time to put the sword to use. Go, Guru, go, go, go. Give it a rest, will you? There's far too many rocks. Go, Guru, go, go, go. I told you there's too many. I'll bet my arm trying to get through that. Are you joking? So, what, we're just buried alive down here? Calm down. There's got to be another way out somewhere. Where? Where? The men here. We have to find the men here, I think from Lord of the Rings. Yes. It's in. Some people did abbreviate suspicious to sus before that game, but I appreciate that, like, it's a word that had to be repeated a lot and therefore became the, like, codified in that game as the most useful word for pointing at somebody. But yeah, sus was about before computer game. Exactly. There was no one in the Great Forest all busted up. That rock I saw when we first met in the woods. But why would there be one of them here? So I've been trying to get to a save point for like 10 minutes now. And the game has just had a plot going on. Why isn't important right now? Focus on the where. Just trust me. Mysterious runes known locally as rune barrows. The rediscovery of the rune barrows brought countless adventurers to New Nieve. Such a fame and fortune, lightning monsters lie in wait within. Plot is happening right now. There's nothing you can do about it. What game was I playing where it just lets you save anywhere? Because that game doesn't get enough credit for that particular device. Oh, you know what it is. You know what it is. Xenoblade 1. Okay, speaking of saving. No, we're in dungeon now. No saving for you, John. Nice. Yes, we do have super soakers and water guns. Nope, no conversation. Wait, isn't that men here? Definitely the same pattern as the one in the forest. This one looks to be in better condition, though. There's an indent here. Looks like something could slot in. You don't think a rune lens could power it? My grandpa told me something like that before. Even a low-grade runes lens ought to do the trick, I think. That reminds me of one of the weirdest presents my dad ever got me. Got me and my brother, like, laser quest guns that you had to put a pack on. And you got a gun. But we were like 16, 17 at the time. And it's like, I don't think we're ever going to get use out of this. Okay, he likes to go into markets and stuff, so he obviously just found it there. But it was a really weird choice. But we had, and still do, have a local laser tag building. Quite famous, I don't know if it's still about, but like, we've known it our entire lives. I think we're... So, like... Not that it matters much if we don't have one. Whoa, what are you doing with a rune lens? Just, shh, please. It's alive. Right then, let's get out of here. Are we waiting for something? That lion sack of... Why isn't it working? I ain't about to die down here. Useless hunk of rock, do something. There's the button. Can we wait, calm down? Let me have a look, there must be something we're missing. There's a signpost, that's a save point. Yeah, it was just a... he was never keen on, like, computer games and stuff. Or any kind of technology more advanced than a VCR. There's some kind of inscription here. Looks like the men here key my grandpa told me about. He did once ring me up because the government gave him not a laptop, Apple pad thing, and it was just like, do you know how to turn it on? You gotta hold down the button. No, it's not doing anything. It's like, I can't do this over the phone, Dad. I can't explain bloody thingy. There's some kind of description. Looks like the men here key my grandpa told me about. Let's see. Mysterious machinery powered by the rune lenses. The key to awaken the power lies in the puzzle found upon them. Rotate the blocks to connect the pathways and reveal the true power lying dormant within. But I'll do that after. Oh, fine. It'll take like literally a second. Okay, let's see. What's the worst I could possibly do on this? I've tried the puzzle, it seems physically impossible. They get harder, John. I know, it's just teaching me. That did it. Huh? What? Ah! Yeah! Who powered that one? We're out. We're really out. I think I'm gonna vom. So this min here is like a port. Yeah, this is why like I only play this game in our like. There's a word that I need to say, but my brain is not giving me that. But an hour. So because that's as much as my energy allows. This is like a portal to one of the barrows. I bet that's how those bandits got in. Do you know about the men here though, Garu? Why'd you know that? Seen them around, Mercs, see all sorts on the road. Yes, increments, thank you very much. And what about the rune lens we used to activate it? Where'd you get that? I found it stuck in that old busted up min here we saw in the woods. I heard a rumour in town, headed out to investigate and saw the lens stuck in it. From what I can gather, there should be quite a few of them around. Is that so? Excuse me, friend, but where are we? This is a farm just outside New Nieve. Sorry to drop in on you like that, are you okay? The name CJ, this big lugs guru, were adventurers were just down the barrows. Armias, owner of this here farm? Not that I can do much farming since the earthquake. Unless my eyes are playing tricks on me. Sure seems like you pair came tumbling out of that rock just now. That's right, seems like the rock is connected to the barrows. I think because it's the genre of slice of life, isn't it? The game doesn't just want me to go into a dungeon and, you know, become more powerful. It wants me to get to know literally goddamn everyone in this town. In a sort of, you live here now, these are all your friends. And I appreciate that that's literally the genre I'm playing at. But also sometimes I just want to get stuff done. Yes, I'll probably be gone by the time you're back, because I was right next to a save point, it just walked me away from it. But I think the game will give me a save point in a second. Well, I'll be... You haven't seen any dodgy folk around here lately, have you? Bandits and such. Can't say I have. Dogs have been barking lately. Haven't been barking, so they haven't seen nothing. Except for you two now, just now that is. Suppose the bandits must be using a different men here then. I had no idea this rock was so special. I always thought it was just some old monument to the before people. I knew it. I'm never going to be able to reopen in this farm. Were you planning a grand reopening? I was thinking about it. The request from Miss Mayor herself said there ain't enough food to keep all the adventurers satisfied. Unfortunately, I don't have what I need to rebuild the barn. No seeds or crops neither. I can get you there. Must be your lucky day. We're happy to help. How are we now? Some barn materials and crops ought to be enough to get started. Should be easy to find in that forest over yonder. Can't you find it then? You already know where to find them. Ah, I don't think it's possible to fix my farm. I just need that stuff right over there. It's not possible to get. Yes, sir. Do you forget about the bandits after your lens? Or are you too much of a softie for your own good? Go see the acting mayor, tell her about the bandits, and then get back to treasure hunting. That was the plan, wasn't it? And maybe save the game. Can't do much on an empty belly, can you? If there's no food, there'll be no treasure hunting for anyone. Besides, those bandits think we're dead. They're probably back rummaging through the wreckage for that Lode Golem lens. It's going to take them a while to dig for all that, I reckon. We've got time for another brief detour. Plus, a food shortage would most likely affect the tavern too, you know? Fine, let's get this over and done with. Yes, let's get this over and done with. The men here, it's a teleporter, I get it. Oh, goddamn weird game. Yeah, so I knew the closest one was that save point. Right, yes. I've been the John Struck. Thank you very much for watching this. I've been having an Eiyuden Chronicles Rising Adventure. I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me.